So again, it is time for social studies. Today we are going to look at section 5.1. We're starting our next chapter. So you do need your chapter 5 packet for today. You'll be completing the vocabulary words after we read through this section together. So get your book, get your packet, get a pencil, and you can follow along as I read out loud. All right, routes of exploration to the New World. And we're in section 5.1, the introduction. In chapter 4, you read about why Europeans crossed the Atlantic Ocean and sailed to the Americas. In this chapter, you will read about 8 European explorers. You will discover why these explorers came to the New World and how their arrival affected the native peoples. Because remember, even though it was a new world to them, it was not a new world to the Native American people that already lived there. In 1492, Christopher Columbus landed on the Caribbean island and claimed it for Spain. Columbus's voyage prompted others to explore the Western Hemisphere. Conquistadors, or Spanish explorers, planted the Spanish flag throughout the Caribbean and throughout Central and South America. Explorers from England, France, and Holland also came. They wanted to find a northwest passage, a shortcut from Europe to Asia through North America. Basically, they received some silks and spices and different things from Asia, and they wanted to try to find a faster route to get to Asia, and that's what they were exploring. So they were hoping to find a northwest passage so that they could go from Europe to Asia and back again faster. Because remember, not every single part of the world creates all of it or has all of the same natural resources, right? So they had to travel to other places. Sadly, the explorers never found such a passage, but they quickly claimed North American land for their European sponsors, the countries that paid for their voyages. And we did talk about that a little bit last time, that people would pay for them and basically, sponsor their travels so that they would be able to have that land claimed for them. Okay, some people call the explorers great men. Certainly their accomplishments were great. Their voyages established new trade routes and produced better world maps. However, as you will learn, they also killed many native people who opposed them. They also infected them with contagious diseases, sicknesses that spread quickly. Look at the matrix on this page. A matrix is a chart with rows and columns, useful for organizing and comparing information. As you read this chapter, think about how you can use this matrix to compare the explorers with one another. So basically, I created in your chapter 5 packet these things. This is the matrix that they're talking about. So we're going to be looking at 8 different explorers. That doesn't mean that there were only 8. There were a lot, but we're going to focus on kind of the more well-known. So you're going to be looking at 8 explorers, their personal background, who sponsored them, what their motives were, like why did they go exploring, when they did, what route they took, because if you're just talking about the Western Hemisphere, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things to find. So what was their route of exploration? And finally, what impact they had. I think when I think, am I making an impact, it kind of means like, what kind of a difference am I making in people's lives? Some of those impacts were positive, and as described here, especially big red letters, contagious diseases, there were some negative impacts as well. What I need for you to do today is I need for you to complete these 5 vocabulary words. Now, these terms are located in your book. You can find them in the glossary in the back of your book. I did notice that some of you, when you turned in your vocabulary last time, you didn't capitalize the first letter in your sentence. And some of you did not include punctuation marks at the end. And some of you used the exact same word in your definition. Those 3 things are not okay by me. So I want you're only giving me 5 definitions to give me full out definitions. I feel like the best way for you to do that is to use the glossary in the back of your book. So I would expect you to have complete thoughts, proper punctuation, capital letters at the beginning of a sentence. You are 5th graders, you can do this. These words we'll be using a lot throughout this chapter, and it's very helpful at the beginning for you to know what they mean. So when I use them in class, you'll understand what I am talking about. All right, so get to it. I'll be looking at the vocabulary in class next time I see you. Thank you.